We have to get to the Raiders. We'll have a lot more Kings talk tomorrow. But I told you all on Friday, if you thought it couldn't get worse, it could actually get worse, and it did yesterday. Before I get your thoughts, Ramie, let's hear from Davante Adams talking about the execution or lack thereof for this football team.
I don't think it's a buy-in. I don't think people are like, F what he's talking about or, I'm going against the grain. It's just about a matter of executing when it's time. Whether that's early and 60-minute game it doesn't mean just finishing. That's part of it, but it means a complete game. Every minute of the game, giving it all you got. And it's not about being perfect because that's not football. Football is the most imperfect, most team sport that there is. So at the end of the day, it's doing your job and making the plays when you call it on and when you get the opportunities. And we just don't do that at a high enough level right now.
Here was more from Adams.
You guys got to play for one another, play a full game, and that's 60 minutes from start to finish, coming out starting fast and then closing out games, making plays when taking on that burden, wanting to be the guy that I just don't got enough guys that are fully bought into that right now. And I think people like the idea, but when it's time to actually execute, it don't turn out that way.
How is this something you're still preaching in week 10?
It's amazing.
And if you think guys aren't giving you a full 60 minutes when there's something to play for, like before your season is over and you're sitting there at 2-6, or what are they, 2-6 or 2-7? Which one?
I think they're 2-7.
Doesn't matter. When you're if you think guys weren't giving you full effort or 60 minutes of effort before, what makes you think that it's going to start to happen now? It ain't happening, man. This team, and like you said, Nick, every time you think it can't get worse, don't think that. It can.
Yep.
And it probably will with this particular Raiders.
Hey, I bet against them on Friday with our picks. I'm done. I'm done believing this team can hang even close to some of these other teams that they should actually be beating. Man, another fourth quarter lead you lost. You were terrible on third down defense against Matt Ryan and the Colts offense that has not pretty much gotten out of their own way this year. 6 for 11 the Colts were on third down yesterday. The pass rush is completely non-existent. I mean, almost no pressure on Matt Ryan for long stretches in that game.
With a coach who's never coached.
Yep.
Going against a head coach who's never coached, a guy who was sitting in an ESPN studio 10 days ago. Matt Ryan against the Las Vegas Raiders had a longer run than Josh Allen, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, A.J. Dillon, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurts, Michael Carter, Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Daniel Jones, James Conner, Leonard Fournette, Melvin Gordon, and Damian Harris have all had this season. Matt Ryan.
He's lumbering down the field for 39.
This thing is broken on so many levels when you talk about the Raiders. On so many levels.
Jeff Saturday literally parachuted into the football season, be the Colts head coach, walked out there, and his team beat your team in Vegas. He had a home game. Parks Frazier,
not a real person,
had your defensive heads spinning. 30-year-old offensive coordinator, had never called plays for an NFL team in his life. And he had Graham's defense out there looking like they were absolutely lost for long stretches.
Did they show Parks Frazier on TV at all?
They did.
Okay, so he's a real person.
Yep.
We've established this. All right.
Seems to be.
If you say so.
Seems to be. In this, I mean, the defense is not good. The offense is not good. At least you can say the offense, you can somewhat chalk it up to some of these injuries and say, well, they're without Renfro and without Waller. But, I mean, this is it is a disaster. And as Ramie said, you've got guys talking about how they haven't bought in. You're heading to week 11, man. Like, if you haven't bought in the first 2.5 months, what makes you think you're going to buy in the next month and a half?
I think that somebody's going to walk into work this morning on Monday after that loss and sitting at 2-7. They're like, all right, I wasn't really into this whole thing yesterday, but today, this is when we get serious and put our foot on the gas pedal.
I mean, you cannot have the antithesis of the Mike Brown situation, show itself any more than you have right now in Vegas. You're talking about Mike Brown getting, buy-in from everybody, getting his, the best play from his best player, everybody chipping in, good vibes. You're getting some bad play from some of your best. It seems like a lot of those guys in the locker room have not bought in and will not buy in.
Derek Carr is broken.
It's like
broke Derek Carr.
It's a mess. And I know we're going to get into this a little bit more tomorrow for sure. But now we're hearing, and we'll ask Jeff Howe about this tomorrow too, because he's the one that came out with the report, our NFL insider. We'll have him on the show tomorrow, reporting that McDaniels has been given assurances that he'll be back next year. He's been given assurances.
All right.
They're the 22nd ranked offense in the red zone. They just lost to a guy who literally was coaching high school football in Georgia a week or two ago.
God, I wish I could be that mediocre and still cash a big old check. That'd be nice.
Maybe one day, Ramie.